Hey folks, this is Jess from Cook Smarts. Welcome to the last segment of this multi-part kitchen series where I take you on a behind-the-scenes look of my kitchen, showing you all the pantry essentials that I keep, all the kitchen tools, as well as how I put together an efficient workspace. And that's what we're talking about in this last segment, how we're gonna put together an efficient workspace. And this is really important because you can save so many hours, days of your life if you have an efficient workspace. I have spent a lot of time in beautiful kitchens. I used to cater and I used to give cooking lessons. And living in the Bay Area, there are lots of very large homes to do these things in. And I found myself in some really beautiful kitchens that were just humongous, the size of the apartments that I was living in. But I realized they weren't actually very efficient. I found myself having to run like across the room, across the kitchen to get a pot, and then across the kitchen again to fill that pot with water, and then across another part of the kitchen to then get that pot onto the stove. So bigger doesn't always mean better. It's really more about getting an organized workspace, having a understanding why you're putting something in that space, and how it's gonna make your life easier and things just go faster. Okay, so first I'm going to show you how my kitchen is laid out. I have a bit of a galley kitchen. It does open on both sides, so it's not as tight as most galley kitchens, and it's a little bit wider than a standard apartment galley kitchen, but it is just one narrow space. So let me just give you that view first. All right, so this is my kitchen space, as you can see. To the left, we've got the sink. To the right, we've got the fridge and the stove. And this main space here, this little space that I'm highlighting, that counter top is where I do most of my prep work. So the kitchen is small, but I'm not ever more than an arm's reach into getting what I need, which is great. So let me just explain to you where I keep the things that I do and why I do that. All right, so this is the prep space, okay? This is typically where I start, right? I will go to the fridge and to my pantry closet and get everything that I need. And then I've also got this little pantry space down here. And so these are not far from where I need to be to get stuff. So I can often reach down here, open this, get the stuff that I need, reach up here, get the stuff that I need. But here, in terms of this prep space, the things that I always pull out first, I pull out the kitchen, the cutting board, and then if you don't have a grippy cutting board, fold the kitchen towel underneath it, and I'll make it grippy. I've got all of my knives in this knife rack here, so I can easily just reach for one, depending on what I'm doing. And then in this drawer below, which is right below my prep space, are where my prep bowls are. So it's really easy just to reach down for one and bring it up here. So again, since the prep bowls are just below, I can bring them up here, and then I go and reach for the knife that I need, and I do the chopping that I need. If there's anything, other tools, prep tools that I need, I have them in these containers here, again, within arm's reach. If I need to grate something, if I need to open a can, everything is here. So I have this, I usually spread out in this space, and that's where all the prepping gets done. So some of my prep involves washing. That all happens over here. Unfortunately, the space below this and the space above, it's got this window and then like where the trash is. So nothing really is within arm's reach here. What I really typically am reaching for when I'm at the washing space is a colander or salad spinner. So the closest place I could get for that is actually over here, down below here, and that's where I keep the colander and to do any washing that needs to be done. So it's close enough. It's not as close as I would like it to be, but I know where it is at all times. Things get put back in the same place, and that it's not too far away from where I'm doing the washing. So after you do all the prep on this space, all the washing in that space, everything is now in prep bowls, okay? So I make sure everything is in large bowls, prep bowls, whatever. And since this prep space isn't that far from my stove, I don't actually need to move too much over, but typically I will just move all those things over so they're set up right here next to the stove. I will, turn on the stove, and then right below here, again within arm's reach again, are all my pots and pans. I can grab whatever pots and pans that I need, set them out, usually get them all out in one go ideally. So go from the drawer, the bottom cupboard, move them up here. Then, now the pot's hot. What do I do next? I usually typically add a little bit of oil to the pot. Luckily, I've got this Lazy Susan here, again, right by the stove, that I can just reach out, get the oil, put it in my pot. Now, if there are any tools that I typically need for the actual cooking part, so not necessarily prep tools, but the cooking tools, I have those also within arm's reach, either to the left in this drawer here, you can see that, or right on this little Lazy Susan again. So this is where I keep those wooden spoons. In this left drawer is where I keep that fish flipper, where I keep the tongs. That's where those things live. The tongs, the fish flippers, and this like strainer. So those are again all very purposeful of why I put them in this drawer or why I put them here. And usually the thing that I need throughout the cooking process is salt. And again, I keep my salt right here. It's just like super accessible. I have two kinds of salt. I have a red sea salt that someone just gave to me, so I use it, and then a kosher salt that I keep right here. So always, again, within arm's reach. I have a pepper grinder right here that, you know, I just turn it over. This is a really cool thing. I didn't show this off in the kitchen tools. I should have. So this is battery operated, and you just turn it upside down and it starts working. It's pretty amazing. My mother-in-law got this for me. I think you can get it on Amazon. So if you want one of these, it does help when all your hands are dirty, or at least one of your hands is dirty. You still need to add pepper. You don't have to do the turning. And then if I'm ever doing anything with the oven, where I need my oven mitts, again, I've got my oven mitts hanging up right here for easy access. I can just pull them off the hooks, get what I need, and then put them right back, because oftentimes I feel like oven mitts go missing very easily. So those are the basics of my workspace. Just really think about the layout of your kitchen. So if there are things that you find yourself often reaching for and not finding, just spend a day reorganizing, and just think about how you typically work in the kitchen and just make that space more workable for you. So that ends our series at this point. I hope these sessions have been really helpful for you in order to understand a little bit more about how I organize my kitchen, what I keep in here to make sure that I always have a meal on hand. And I hope you take some of these steps to help you in your own kitchen.